Hello everybody, welcome to another video. Today I'm just gonna talk about registers, decoders, and just a basic adder made entirely out of pistons. So no redstone dust, no torches, no repeaters, no comparators, no observers, none of that. Just sticky pistons, redstone, slime, just none of the regular components. Alright, so I'm just gonna start off with the adder. This is like levers, so you can put in your own inputs, but this is where a piston would push an input into, and the reason I have it set up like this is so you can still have the levers and redstone lamps for like indicators. Anyway, to show that it does work, I'm gonna do 5 plus 7, and that's gonna come out to 12. And now to test its carrying abilities, just to test that it can go all the way with no problems, I'm going to do, what is this, 255. I'm going to freeze the game. This on over here, and we're going to watch. We're gonna step. Hey, no, we're just gonna unfreeze her. This is. And now, if we just turn this back off and unfreeze. There you go. So that's the adder, and basically what it is, there's two XOR gates, one here, one here. One is A XOR B, and A XOR B XOR C, and C is just the carry in. And then you have somewhere over here two AND gates. One is A and B, and another one is A XOR B and C, and then that is ORed to this, and this is the carry in for the next. No, this is the carry out, and then this is the carry in from the layer below it. This is an XOR gate right here. Basically, you can have any input. It's like an OR gate. Any input can be on and it'll turn on, except if both of them are on. If both of them are on, then it turns off. This is just a NOT gate. This is an OR gate. And this is an AND gate. And now I'm going to move on to the register. Oh no, 16 single byte registers, so all in all it would be 16 bytes. I haven't hooked it up to a decoder yet because I don't have the time to do that right now. I can show that it works. Actually, here, I'll just build one right now to explain how it works. If I do this, right, this won't turn on. Okay, it'll stay off. This is just the input. But if we do this, which is the write function, it will write it to memory. And now if I turn this back off and do this, it stays on. And how I have it set up, basically you turn this on, pulse this, and do this, or you have it off, pulse it, in there. And I also have a read function, so it's set up so it'll only output if this read is on. Right now I have nothing stored in it, but if you can see, it's just an AND gate with what's stored in memory, and it'll only put out what's in memory if this is on. So we're just gonna put we're just gonna do a pattern, right? We're just gonna do this. Also, this is just a separate register. So now as you can see, nothing is being outputted and nothing is stored here. If it was, this redstone block would be up here. Now I'm going to pulse this. And now, as you can see, there is now something stored. And with these, we don't need these anymore. We can turn them off, and these will still be stored in memory. And now if I turn this on, it will read it and output it here. And turn it off. Back on. You can do this as many times as you want. And this is just a single byte, 16 bytes of this, and yeah. Here is the decoder. Basically, you have a 4-bit input, and it'll decode. So if all of these are off, it just does this. It goes all the way up. There's 16 outputs, and how it works, basically, I'll show it with actual redstone so it makes more sense. So if any of these are on, it'll turn off. So if all of these are off, this is now on. But for the next one, we're gonna do this. So you can see that this is off, but if I turn this on, it'll turn on, but if I turn this on, it'll turn off. So yeah, that's the general concept of it. And now if you have 4 bits and you just do this 16 different times with all the NOT gates, and it's actually really easy to do the NOT gates if you just have this as your input line, because all you need to do, if you want a NOT gate, put it here, put your piston here. But if you want it to just be regularly powered, then you put your piston right here. See, but if I do this, it's a NOT gate. So it can actually be a lot more compact than I was initially thinking. And you can see the NOT gate over here at the top. So here's 1. We go to 2, 3, 4, 5. And interesting thing, you can see the scanning through with how it's like a delay line, kind of. So it's like scans through, and I think that's kind of cool. It's even cooler if you do this. Actually, I'm gonna freeze the game and do this. I haven't tried it like this. We're gonna watch. And I think that's pretty cool. What's going to be the most complicated about putting all this together is figuring out like all the delays for the outputs. Like how long do I need to wait before all of these output at the same time? So that's going to be the most complicated part of putting this piston computer together. But it does work, and I really think it's cool how well this is all working. Right, yeah, see, so you can make a clock just like this. I will see you guys in the next one. Toodle freaking later.